Hey guys, Apocalypso here. Welcome to the finale of Extreme AI Matchups. Now, we still are going to have special episodes for like when the DLC civs come out. Uh, Whenever any future expansions come out, I'm still gonna have extra episodes for those, but those will be special. The main series is done after this episode. Uh, and there will be spin-offs. Um, Spin-offs and sequels. So look forward to that. Now this map is Bog Island. Basically, I picked the map. It's not in the map pool at all that I picked for this series. I wanted the final map to be something special. Originally it was Islands, um, but the game went on for very long and it never finished. The AI just seems to not know what to do on islands. So that didn't work. And then I tried Mediterranean, and it ended up being a land battle. Instead, there wasn't really much to do with water, which is very unfortunate. So I ultimately settled on Bog Islands. Bog Islands has this terrain, um, which you can build buildings on it, and land units and water units can travel on it. So it is very unique terrain. And the reason I went with this map, it is a Malay mirror match. See, both civilizations are the Malay, um, and I think that's very interesting. The Malay were the last civilization left. There was not an even number of civilizations to do, unfortunately, so that just had to be what I did. Um, so that's what ended up happening, and so we have the Malay versus the Malay. And the reason I picked a water map is because the Malay, it says they are a naval civilization. Now, obviously, this section is going to be much shorter because I only have one civilization to explain. So, it says they're a naval civilization. They advance to the next age 66% faster. Now, basically, you can just sort of advance. You can click up after your opponent and still, uh, you can still manage to get there before them, which is that's pretty huge. I should say, because it basically allows you to just sort of to do like anything. Uh, you can just sort of take your time. You can take your time advancing. You don't have to really rush all that much. Alternatively, you could also just rush and just go through the ages really fast and just kind of bombard your opponent with units because you're advancing much faster than them and you're much further through the game than they are. So the Malay have the potential to be a very, very fast civilization. But there is a drawback. Because you advance through the ages faster, your villagers don't gather as many resources as other civilizations, so you're going to have fewer resources to work with once you actually get to that age. So that is a bit of a drawback, and it's something that players will have to work around. And maybe their next bonus can help negate that somewhat, which is that fish traps cost minus 33% and provide 3 times food. Now, originally, it was uh, fish traps, they cost 33% less. That was still the same, but they provided infinite food. You heard me. Infinite food. You would never have to rebuild them if they weren't attacked. That's pretty broken. So, they changed it at some point in Definitive Edition because I remember there was this crazy game. It was the Viper versus I think Hera uh, on islands, and I think the Viper was the Malay, and because of those infinite fish traps, the game just went on for so long. It just it was like a 2 hour game or something, may have been even longer than that. But the game was just so incredibly long because because the fish traps provide infinite food, and because he had water control, uh, those fish traps just couldn't really be destroyed. So that's why they changed it because it was just way too much. It was way too broken of a bonus. Way too broken. Now, three times food is still still really good. It's not nearly as broken, but it's still really good. Basically, it means you're going to have incredibly efficient fish traps. Now, the reason I bring that up in terms of relating to their first bonus is you can have those. You can have fishing ships building fish traps while you're advancing to the feudal age and have extra food. And since they cost less, it doesn't it's more difficult. It's not as difficult to get them up, and you have more resources to spend once you get to the feudal age. So you can kind of negate, you can somewhat tone down the resource disadvantage you have from advancing quickly. Um, the third bonus is that battle elephants cost minus 30% in castle and minus 40% in the imperial age. Now, here's the thing about that bonus. They have the elite battle elephant, but they have husbandry, so they are faster. But they don't have bloodlines, and they don't even get chain barding armor. So uh, they're pretty unimpressive battle elephants. So basically, the Malay have the cheapest battle elephants out of any civilization, but they are not very strong. The Malay battle elephants lose to every other battle elephant from the Raja the Raja civilization for civilizations. Now, Spirit of the Law tested it back when the battle elephants were first introduced, which was only for the Southeast Asian civilizations back then. That was before Dynasties of India. Malay battle elephants probably beat Dravidian battle elephants because they actually have the elite upgrade. So they at least have that going for them, but still, Malay battle elephants are not great. It is uh, much better to try to outnumber your opponent with battle elephants rather than use them to defeat them with power. But, but the problem is battle elephants are meant to be population efficient, and Malay battle elephants just don't really fit that. So, like Spirit of the Law says in his Civ overview, which is where I'm getting a lot of this stuff, uh, you could use battle elephants in like the feudal age, or not feudal age, castle age for like a some kind of rush, some kind of quick power spike unit to harass the enemy base. That may be the extent of their usefulness, because they're just too weak otherwise. And so the team bonus is that the docks have plus 100% line of sight. Now that's actually really good, because docks don't have that much line of sight to begin with. So basically, you can see more sheep. Sheep, no, sheep. You can see more fish. Uh, you can see more fish from on the from the shoreline. Normally, you can't see that much fish from the shoreline, but you can see a lot more. So the fishing ships just can just go there and not be idle, because when fish are nowhere to be found, fishing ships just kind of go idle, or collect from shorefish, which is not ideal. So with the extra line of sight, you can see fish easier, so it's a bit of an eco bonus, and it's also a defensive bonus because you can see enemy ships coming from farther away. So it's kind of a twofold bonus, and remember, it is a team bonus. So your teammates get it. So it might work with civilizations like the Vikings or the Japanese, uh, because they have good dock bonuses as well. So the unique unit of the Malay, where is it? It is over here. It is the Karambit Warrior. Malay unique infantry unit. Cheap and only takes half a population unit. Strong in high numbers. Weak versus cavalry and archers. Now, the thing about the Karambit Warrior, as it states, is that it is very weak. It only has 30 HP, has only 7 attack. Um, it does have 1 Pierce Armor, which is more than the Swordsman line, but by default. But uh, it's still very weak and is extremely easy to kill. So what you need to do, swarm swarm the opponent with tons of Karambit Warriors. They're similar to Showtail Warriors in many respects from the previous episode, except they have an abysmal attack, whereas Showtail Warriors have an extremely high attack. So while they're similar swarm units, Karambit Warriors are much cheaper than Showtail Warriors, which are more expensive, but they have much higher attack. So Karambit Warriors are much more of a swarm type unit, whereas uh, Showtail Warriors are glass cannons. They're basically the definition of glass cannons. So you can kind of compare Karambit Warriors to like Zerglings from StarCraft, which a lot of people do. Also the Huskarl, but this fits much more of the archetype of the Zergling. And since they only take up half a population slot, you can essentially get 400 of them minus, you know, if you're not counting eco, if you don't have any eco, you can basically fit 400 Karambit Warriors on a 200 population game. Obviously, that's not going to happen because you're going to have eco and probably ships, so it's probably going to be more like 200 if you have 100 population space left, but still, that's a lot. That is a lot of units. So you can really just do a lot of damage with tons of very weak units, kind of like mosquitoes, kind of like locusts. Malay are basically the locusts of Age of Empires. Try that out for size. But anyway, yeah, that's basically what the Karambit War is all about. As Spirit of the Law said, it's basically death by 1,000 cuts. So, the first unique tech is Thalassocracy, which upgrades your docks to harbors which fire arrows. Now let's see if we can find harbors. It's over in this direction. Okay, so harbors. It doesn't actually say. It doesn't say anything about harbors. It just says docks. Okay, forget that. So basically, harbors. Um, they fire arrows. Um, kind of like a tower. It's multiple arrows, but the arrows themselves are quite weak against normal units. They have a very high attack bonus against ships, so it's much more of a defensive building on the water, which is fitting because it's basically a dock upgrade. So, and what it means is your fishing economy with those beefed up fish traps is actually quite safe. It's going to be very hard for the enemy ships to destroy those fish traps, and this was even more potent back in the day when they had infinite food. And that's probably part of the reason why they designed that tech to begin with, so that it synergized well uh, with that bonus. Now, obviously, it synergizes less since it's not infinite anymore, but still, the tech is really good for defending fish traps. And in general, it also helps protect your coastline from enemy ships if you're trying to pump out, your own navy. So that's uh, it's a pretty good tech. It's pretty good. Now the Imperial Age unique tech is called Force Levy. Now this one's a treat. The militia line gold cost is replaced by additional food cost. Now, before Definitive Edition, it just completely removed the gold cost. So it was like a Corvinian army for the Magyars, which back then was called mercenaries. But so you see the two-handed swordsmen, they have they cost 60 food and 20 gold, but they do have supplies, so that goes down to 45 food, which means two-handed swordsmen with force levy and with supplies cost 65 food, which is actually more than they cost without supplies, but that's kind of the price you pay for not costing gold. And without supplies, it would be a lot more anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. Um, the point is, get supplies before using this tech because it helps out a lot. Um, and the point is, two-handed swordsmen, they are now a trash unit. And that's really good because two-handed swordsmen are really effective trash killers. And that basically means in trash fights, the Malay have a huge advantage. Now, it is a relatively expensive technology at 850 food and 500 gold, but it does hopefully eventually pay for itself in those long drawn out games where basically all you can create are two-handed swordsmen. And of course, two-handed swordsmen are really good against buildings. Not so much compared, halberdiers I don't think are particularly good against buildings. They do have a bonus against them, I think, because they're infantry, but they aren't really as effective against buildings as two-handed swordsmen are, which can really help close out those long games where gold is basically uh, non-existent. And there's also the thing to consider that two-handed swordsmen are much more of a rounded out unit compared to the halberdier, which is strictly anti-cavalry, the light cavalry, which is just too light to really be able to, fight anything. And then, of course, you have the elite skirmisher, which is only really good against other skirmishers and uh, halberdiers in trash fights. So that is something to consider because trash two-handed swordsmen are really good. One of the best units in the game in trash fights. Of course, you also have the Magyar Hussar, which is kind of in a league of its own, but you know that's something else entirely. But that's basically what's notable about the Malay, and I don't know what's going on there. Okay, um, hopefully you didn't hear that. There's some weird vibration going on in my headset whenever I talked. So, um, I'm going to fast forward a bit. Now, the thing about okay, we're gonna see how much line of sight this has because it's quite a lot. See, look at that. It just uncovered all that. So that's a whole lot. Now the thing about Bog Islands, I'm going to do it. Um, they don't have any bushes at all. I don't. They're not out here. Uh, all they have are animals. So it's a very unconventional map. Of course, you have fish as well, but those aren't as easily accessible. Um, I don't think you have any shorefish out here. You have the box turtles, which are basically shorefish. They're here, but they're kind of far out. So hiding, fighting Rhino there, hunting a Rhino. Um, so the point is, it's a bit of an unconventional map for sure, especially since you have this you know I can't think of the word, amphibious terrain. You have this amphibious terrain that uh, buildings can be built on, which is very unique. Now I'm not sure how logical it is. You have the fishing ship hunting or going after the box turtles, which doesn't really it's not really smart. But okay, so building a mill right there. Um, something really special about the something really special about the what's it called? Bog Islands. Okay, now they're on the way of fuel age. What about him? Is he on the way of fuel age? Yeah, he's about the same spot. So because they're the same civilization, they're probably gonna have the similar game plans because they're both the AI, and the AI tends to play civilizations like the same way. So this might end up being a lot. This might end up being kind of a draw. Which, well, I mean, obviously it's not going to be a draw, but it might end up being a draw for quite a lot of it. All right, so now he's in the feudal age, and the other guy just advanced the feudal age like a second after he did. So this is a very interesting game. You see this lumber camp is on the water, which is pretty neat. And you just collected that water buffalo. Now, these water buffaloes are actually incorrect. They seem to depict the African water buffalo when their horns should be actually facing backwards to depict the Southeast Asian water buffalo. But whatever. You have Indian elephants representing both African and Indian elephants. So whatever. So the point is, we have a mining camp here. That's really interesting. Anyway, so what to talk about here? So, oh, hello. How many? How many? Does he only have one dock? Yeah, he only has one dock. But he's sending forward fire galleys. Um, yeah, so he's sending forward a fire galley. Oh, he's adding another dock there. Okay, so that way this fishing ship won't have to travel so far. So I think he's trying to do some patrolling, some scouting with the fire galley, which is smart. Does he see the enemy? No, he doesn't see the enemy yet. No, he doesn't. He's almost there, though. Almost sees him. But anyway, so he is now he has another dock here. They're both producing fire galleys, so this could be interesting stuff. Well, he is a fire galley. He has another dock right next to it. Right next to that dock, and so now they are both producing units. Oh, but he has demolition rafts. Does he know that the other player is going for fire galleys? I don't know if he knows. He might have just decided to do that. I'm not sure. But demolition rafts, you really have to try to maximize the attack because they're a one-time use unit. So, what is he gonna try to do here? Okay. Oh, yeah. All right, he got that. Ooh, he just got a fishing ship and a villager. Ooh, he gets two villagers. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, he made good use of those demolition rafts. Holy cow, that was good. That was good. That was very entertaining. Very entertaining. Just like every Michael Bay movie ever. And now I believe he has fire galleys of his own. He seems to have given up on the demolition rafts for now, which was actually smart because you don't want to overuse them because they do kind of cost a lot. But he did do some damage. He killed 3 villagers and a fishing ship with those demolition rafts. So that was a good engagement. That was a really good engagement. Now the reason that this map is interesting, it makes for interesting fights, interesting games, is because you can have land units interact with water units in a way that you've never seen before. Normally, that's the kind of thing would only happen like in like shallows between like two islands or whatever, two land masses. So this fishing ship is trying to escape. I don't know if it's gonna get destroyed. It might. Yeah, it's looking pretty dire. Yep, there it goes. All right, so now, oh yeah, okay. Ha. All right, so he's continuing to produce fire galleys from these two docks that are next to each other and this dock over here. He doesn't seem to be going for anything else, which is actually fine because fire galleys. I stand corrected. He actually does have some demolition rafts. Is he gonna send them forward like the other guy did? Nope, nope, he's not. Oh, maybe he is. Oh, hello. If he sees these, he could. Ah, boom! Oh yeah. Oh, that was good. That was good. It's really cool that they can't one-shot him. All right. Oh, those fire galleys come forward. Oh, oh. Boom! Oh, did one-shot it, but oh dear. Okay. This navy has to flee. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The scout. Oh, the scout dies. Oh, the scout dies. Okay, so he just lost his scout, which is, and he also seems to have lost his navy here too. Does he have any units left? Okay, he has some ships. They're over here, so he's not doing anything with them though. So this is a very interesting map. It's for some reason the AI just doesn't seem to know what to do on islands. So that's why I picked this map because um, Mediterranean was kind of a bust, and this one's like the perfect balance of water and land for the AI to be able to know what to do and still have it be interesting. Now the reason I made it, I wanted to make it a land map is because the water map is because the Malay are a much more interesting. Oh, he just lost a scout. Boom. Okay. Now they both lost their scouts. Anyway, so the Malay are a much more interesting water civilization than land civilization. Now they can succeed on land, but they're kind of like the Vikings that they're more interesting on water. So, um, he has a large army of a lot of mostly fire galleys, but I think he does have some. He has at least one demolition raft. I think he had more than one. Yeah, his heels are too. Okay, so this is oh, okay. Is he trying to get to the Castle Age now? I'm not sure what he's doing. Oh dear. Yeah, this isn't gonna go well for sure. Yikes. Now, once we get to the oh, he's on his way to the Castle Age now. Wow. Okay. He's over halfway to the way to Castle Age, but this guy just clicked up and he's already like a third of the way there, which is the power of the Malay. So you got this water buffalo here that's stuck. That happens sometimes. Pretty frustrating. Okay, so right now, red controls the water. Uh, he's adding a barracks now right here, which is a very interesting place to put it. Not sure I like that location. It kind of clogs up the ships too much. do do they have a barracks at all? I'm not sure. It doesn't look like they do. Oh, they're building one now. Okay, so doing the exact same as the red player. It's interesting. These two. This really is a mirror. Really is a mirror. Oh, they just added another town center. Okay, that's interesting. So this really is like a mirror match. They're two players are just kind of mirroring each other because they're the same civilization, and the AIs just kind of tend to behave the same for either case, pretty much. Okay, so they just advanced to. They just got the war galley upgrade, which advanced them to the fire ship and the demolition ship. Now they also Blue also got the upgrade as well, so now they have fire ships. This town center is almost done. They're adding an archer range. What are their archers like? They have Arbalester. They have both ring archer armor and bracers, so it may not be a bad decision to go for that. Um, all right, so here's the special thing I was talking about. Uh, if you build farms on the water like this, you get a rice farm. Now they look different in HD. They're more they look more watery. These just kind of look like farms that are just kind of plopped on the water, which I don't really like. They don't look distinctive enough. I liked how they looked in HD, but whatever. The point is, you can just sort of have farms on the water, and they kind of yes, they just kind of do that. So I actually like that. I like that a lot, and that goes for every civilization as well. On this terrain specifically. So they're adding another town center. Um, they they have another town center that they're putting up. How many town centers do they have? How many? They have two, and the third one on the way. So now they have three. So yeah, you see more of the you can see the more of the rice farms here. So I don't know anything about real life rice farms. I think I saw a picture of them. I don't know if this is at all accurate to real rice farms, but I don't know. There's a lot I don't know about things in general. Now, right now, Red is controlling more territory, and they have water control. Um, at least they're supposed to have water control. They're not really exercising that water control, and they should totally, Blue should totally build like a monastery, like right here, to collect this relic. Um, he does have a monastery, but there's a relic over there. He might go try to collect it. I don't know. So I think I might just skip forward a bit until something happens. Just because it's getting a little boring right now, and this game is over an hour. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, he's building a stable. Something happened. I don't know where it happened. Um, so I don't know what happened, but okay, now they have a relic. Um, now I thought it. Okay, where's the monastery? I heard the monastery. Where's there's another relic over there they can collect. I heard the monastery sound and the monk sound. Just don't know where it is. Um, I don't know. Oh, okay. Oh, there it is over there. Okay. So now that siege workshop is finished, you can get. Oh, nope. Never mind. That guy took that relic. Yep. Well, you snooze, you lose. Anyway, I'm gonna try to skip forward a bit more. I think. Holy cow, this is laggy. Okay, now he's on the way to Imperial Age. So, not much is happening right now, but I think things will start happening soon. Um, Now, a really interesting thing is ships can travel on rice farms because, they are on the water terrain. So I think that's pretty interesting. No, that's not accurate to real life at all. Like if you have like a ship on a rice farm, it's gonna have problems. Rice farm's not gonna survive most likely. I'm probably gonna start reading up about rice farms after this because now I'm actually really curious about rice farms. Uh, Go figure. Okay, which one is he advancing at? Okay, it's this one. How many town centers does he have? Okay, just three. And now he has another relic. Okay, so when are things gonna start happening? It's a good question. He does have a stable. Um, he is not doing anything with it currently. Um, okay, so oh, 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 okay. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Um, he just started dropping a castle on the opponent's wood line. I didn't see that coming. Okay, so he does have a barracks. I saw a pikeman. I don't know where it came from. A couple archery ranges. Uh, Very cramped buildings for sure. So does he have murder holes? Does he have murder holes? That is the question. Does he have murder holes? If he doesn't have murder holes, this can go down pretty quick. He does not have murder holes. Okay. Uh, yeah. So he doesn't have murder holes. Uh, he might want to get on that. Does he even have a university? I don't even think he has a university. Um, that's kind of a bad idea. Okay. Oh, I dismissed that. Okay. Okay, so now we got the wood line being attacked by this castle. Okay, so they're with. Yikes! Yeah, see, he doesn't have murder holes, so he can't attack these ships right now, and the units are kind of spazzing out, as often happens with the AI. Oh dear. Yeah. So now things are actually starting to happen here. Um, we see the land-water interactions that we never really got before. Anyway, so yeah, here you go. So he successfully warded off this attack for the most part. What he needs to do, he needs to get. Oh, he is researching thalassocracy. Oh, he has another castle over here that's under construction. All right, so he's researching thalassocracy. Okay, so now all of the docks are harbors. That is what they look like. Let me see if I can find one that's not obstructed. There we go. That is what harbors look like. They're very interesting looking, in my opinion. Um, they're quite interesting. Okay, so that there's a battle elephant that goes down. Now, unfortunately, the other guy has a castle. Um, but he still doesn't have murder hole. But blue still doesn't have murder holes, so the Karampit warriors are just kind of raiding him. Oh, but the ships come forward. Uh, they do have war galleys, so they have some of that range support. So this is a pretty pretty interesting game for sure. Um, Now remember these battle elephants are quite weak by battle elephant standards. They only have 250 HP, which doesn't seem like a lot, but um, in the grand, I mean, it seems 250 HP seems like a lot of HP for a unit, but by battle elephant standards, it's pretty underwhelming. They don't even have elite battle elephants. What's scrubs? All right, so we have we have this battle here. Um, Definitely looking like the red is going to win for sure. And I'm not sure. Alright, what's going on? Okay, it hopefully the sound bounce is alright after like 20 something episodes. I should have been able to figure it out, but holy mother of lag. Alright, they still don't have murder holes, I don't think. Oh, but now they have the Combat Warriors, which look a lot like villagers. They looked even more like villagers in the HD version, but so now we got the Combat Warriors attacking ships, which is not something you'd think you'd be able to say on anywhere other than this map. So they have galleons. All right, so we have a very interesting battle here. Um, they are holding the line. Um, the red is pushing forward with the ships. But they're kind of preventing things from happening right now because of the Combat Warriors. But those farms are exposed, so it's a big problem here. And now they have 26 people, 28 people in gold. So hopefully they don't run out of gold. But you know, if they do run out of gold, they have the option of two-handed swordsman once they get forced levy. This is quite loud. Okay, so he's actually been able to push him back so far. I'm gonna put it down a little bit. All right. Oh, holy cow! This is laggy. Okay, so you have this battering ram here. You have a trebuchet going after this castle. There's a lot of units in play here, which is why it's so laggy. And you have land units interacting with ships, which is what makes this so interesting. You have the battle elephants contributing here. And you have these galleons. The Crombits are fighting each other. Okay, so this battle elephant will go down. No, it's barely taking any damage at all. Okay, but now it's starting to. Now it's. They nearly need to take out the trebuchets. Okay, so this battle elephant's gonna go down there. Okay, it goes down. Have they taken out the trebuchets yet? They have not taken out the trebuchets yet. But I think they're about to. They took out one of them, it looks like. Have they taken out the other one? No. Yes, they just did. Okay. So now it appears like they have won. Blue has won the land. They now have the score lead. So that big water battle really clinched it for red. And red is now struggling to come back from this. He's really struggling. The ships just aren't strong enough. They don't have enough land units. They have the Combat Warriors, but that's about all the land units they have. They don't have strong land units. They only have water. And because you have these land units which are quite effective against the water units. The red player is really struggling here. That being said, I believe the navy for blue is now basically gone. So red has re-won the water, but the problem is they haven't won land. So now they're attempting to make a push on the castle, but they don't have enough forces, so it's going to fail. All those Crombits and the battle elephant from red took out the battle elephant from blue. So blue is going to have to like make onagers or something to try to push back, I think. They need some kind of power unit to be able to win this here. Now they have the karambits, but karambits are not very strong by themselves. You need to swarm units with them, which is what they're doing actually. It seems. At least they're trying to. They're not winning currently, but they still have the score lead. And okay, so you have these ships attacking the town center. The town center is firing back, and now it appears they have another castle, so they can just start pumping out elite Karambit warriors even more. And remember, they only cost half a population slot, so you can just have a ton of them. This is a lot of lag here. So you have the battle elephant is going down, I think. Yep, there it goes. But it's hard to tell what's going on. I think the Karambits are fighting each other, but Red is winning because of those ships. Now Blue needs to start making last ships of their own, which they aren't doing right now. They seem to be focusing mainly on land, which is really odd, considering that's not where the strength of Red lies. But they do have a lot more units than Red does, for sure. Which is going to help come into favor here. So, there's actually a Malay mirror match is actually a really strange concept. Like, I'm not sure this has been done so many times. It's basically just, you know, tons of units, tons of weak units just attacking each other. They just lost a few villagers there. Alright, monks? Where are the monks? I hear monk. There's a monk. Okay. Holy cow, they just lost a whole bunch of karambits and halberdiers. So, but they still have more. These guys are super disposable. But they had 250 pop before, and now they're down to 230. These villagers are at risk here. I think they're going to lose a lot of villagers here as these galleons harass them. This is pretty crazy. This is definitely very worthy of being the finale for sure. This is probably the craziest game that we've had in this series. Oh, now we have some we have an onager here, so are they going to do anything here? Are they gonna? They should probably try to research forced levy to get the two-handed swordsman in there, but actually that wouldn't work because they don't have like any food and they have hardly any gold. So all right, so we've got. It's just a mess of colors right now. It's so laggy. Like there's so many units on screen. It's just super laggy. Battles aren't usually this lag because there aren't usually this many units on screen. That's the power of the Malay. They're easily the most quantity over quality civ that we've had in this game. Which is a really interesting archetype, for sure. Now the Goths were able to do it to an extent, but they, they also kind of have quality units as well. Which the Malay don't really have. So the Malay are easily very quantity over quality. Now, okay, so now their base is being attacked by red ships. So they need to try to do something about that. I'm not sure what they're going to try to do about it. None of the harbors are in range currently. Ooh, this monitor could do a lot of damage here. It didn't end up doing that much, and it just got killed. So, apparently it didn't end up doing that much. Anyway, so that's what's going on right now. Now they're trying to make a big push here with the karambits, which might not be all that effective because these ships are here, but, you know, whatever. Okay, they have this trebuchet. I'm not sure what they're planning on doing with it. They're just firing on units. Okay, got it. But it just goes down. Okay, so... Alright, so... Okay, we have... The Karambits are harassing these villagers. Okay, I think what they're doing, they're not even trying to win on water. I think they know they can't win on water. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take out the villagers of the enemy civilization. Um, which is actually working. They're losing a lot of villagers here. Like, that's actually, this strategy is actually working really well. So, now, of course, they're also losing a lot of Karamba warriors, but the value that Karamba warriors have is probably a lot less than what villagers give, so I'd say this mission here to take out the villagers was very successful. They are taking out lots of villagers, and I think there's not much that Red can do from this distance because they have all their forces on water, and they're just basically, Blue is just completely ignoring the water now. They're just trying to focus on getting these villagers down, killed, which is a very smart strategy. If you can't win on water, go for land. On a map like this, that works, because you can just have the land units run past the water units and just avoid them completely. And because the main town center is on land, water units can't do anything about it. So this was a very sound strategy by Blue here. And I think they might have to resign. They might have to resign because there's really not much they can do, because they lost so many villagers. They have the light cavalry now taking out villagers. Yeah, yeah. So they're trying to replace villagers, but Blue's just killing them. So this is not working super well for Red. This is ultimately a very sound strategy, trying to take out the villagers on land if they can't win the water. And we get to see a bit of the harbors here and how they're ineffective against land units. We're actually mostly seeing halberdiers just because they don't have like any gold. So we didn't end up seeing forced levy at all. Of course, I shouldn't speak too soon. We might end up seeing forced levy, but given how the gold situation is, it's highly unlikely we'll see that. So they are about to lose their town center, yeah, and they're going to lose all these villagers here, and I think there's not much they can do about it. The Malay swarm is just really strong. Alright, they gotta finish off this town center first, though. Okay, so they have this castle in the way. So now that town center's toast. But they still have like tons of units, which is really crazy here. But yeah, so they're still not winning water. They're still easily losing water. Oh, but they do have a cannon galleon, which they can use to take down these castles. Which, holy cow, they have a lot of castles. But still, they have the infantry. Yeah, they lost too many villagers. Yeah, they lost too many villagers. That was a very good strategy from Blue. They knew they could not win the water. Red was very clearly winning the water there. So what they did, they went for land. they killed all the villagers, so they just couldn't recover. And that was a very very good strategy from Blue. And Red had no response to it because most of their military was on the water. So this was a very thrilling game. And I'm looking forward to see what the statistics are. So, in terms of military, 117 versus 107. So they had very similar army sizes. Very large for this series. Most of the army sizes aren't that big. Uh, usually one player has a much bigger army size than the other. Um, and but this in this one, this was actually quite similar. Um, and they both lost in the same number of units. Balaputra Blue lost 873 units, or they killed 873 units. They lost only 943. Red lost 953 units and lost 892. Yeah, they killed 900. I think I said that. Um, Converted 6 units, which is pretty interesting. But in terms of economy, Blue was way better in terms of economy. Um, Collected so much more. Probably that early water control helped. And the fact they weren't focusing so much on water in the end. They had the early water control, but once they lost the water control, they just sort of focused on land economy, and that was probably the uh, big factor into why they had so much of the so many resources collected, and villager high 200. That's a lot of villagers. Um, they Blue had 7 castles. Red only had 3. Let's see if we can find the castles here because they have a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mm, I found 4. I don't know where the other ones are. 1, 2, 3. That was I already counted those. And then there was 4 and 5, 6. That's and I don't know where the other castles are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm losing track, but I probably found them all already. But um, yeah. The point is, they had a lot of castles, and Red only had 4, so they weren't able to keep pumping out combat warriors like Red or like Blue could, which is probably part of the reason they were able to so decisively win lands because they had way more castles. Um, what's really interesting though, they had fewer relics captured, so they didn't have that relic gold that the Red had, which is why Red was able to keep affording gold units, and that's why Blue had to ultimately resort to halberdiers. So this was a very interesting game. And as I said, it is a worthy finale to the series. Very entertaining, very exciting, very action packed, massive battles, powerful interactions between units, sound strategy from both sides. It's it's an Age of Empires game. An Age of Empires game like no other. And the AI actually gave us some interesting results. I didn't want the if I had gone with the original Islands game, which may not have ended for like a couple hours, if at all, it would have been very boring because neither of them would have done anything. But Mediterranean, it was exclusively a land battle. I wanted to show off the water. This one was very exciting. I'm glad I did that third take because this was really good, really good game. And I hope you really liked this series because I worked hard on it, even though it doesn't really show in the editing, but, figuring out how to explain these civilizations in a good way, making them accessible for beginners, but exciting for veterans. That is something I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to capture both audiences. My intent with the series was to show off each civilization in the game, to try to convince people to play this game because it is a really good game. One of my favorite games, actually. So, that was my intent behind this series. That was why I made this series, because I wanted to convince people to play the game. And, you know, it hasn't had very many viewers, but maybe in the future the entire series will have more viewers now that the entire series is uploaded. But yes, my intent that was my intent with the series, to get new players for this game because it is a good game. And it's very dynamic despite the fact that most civilizations are about, I want to say, 50 to 70% the same. Uh, but what they really did with the distinctions, really special, and each civilization is very unique and has their own special place in my heart. And that's why I did this series, to showcase all the civilizations. If you watch people like T90, um, they cast expert games. Experts don't really play a lot of civilizations because a lot of the civilizations aren't really viable. But with an extreme AI, that doesn't matter because they all have interesting results. And it's pretty much a 50-50 which civilization will win most of the time. So that's the point for this. That's the point I'm trying to make. I just wanted to show off this series quite a lot, and I wanted to show off this game quite a lot, and I think I managed to do that with this series. And I'm rambling, but I wanted to explain why I made this series. So I hope you really, really enjoyed this series and this episode specifically. Now there will be additional episodes of this series when the DLC civilizations keep coming out, but they won't be an official part of the series. They will be specials. Of course, they will have episode numbers, but since the series is officially done, they're just specials. So, yeah. So that's basically all there is. So that's all she wrote, and I hope you enjoyed the series, and I hope you look forward to the spin off and sequel series I make for this in the future. And I hope you have a very good day, and peace.